it's normally stories that come with that. Sometimes you laugh, sometimes you cry, sometimes you just remember some good shit. Welcome to the Bottom of the Bottom podcast.
Good people, we here again, man. It's your favorite dynamic duo, man. The big dark guys, the brothers, the BOTB. It's Saturday night situations. Of course, we like to bring to you resources and information. Sometimes we be on some silly stuff, man. But tonight it's about perspective and opening your mind to things and finding a responsibility in yourself. So Carolina Dirt, my co-host. What's going on with you?
Hey man, Saturday night situation. Well, I ain't gonna lie to you, but I had a rough Friday night. Where I got into some old granddad, and it was about 114 proof. So I had a slow Saturday, but now I'm on some Evans Williams tonight. But we're gonna make it work, man. This is gonna be a dope conversation.
Indeed, man. I'm on a mixer, man. I got a little Sprite and bourbon here, and I'm just gonna sip on that. And we're gonna like I said, bring out some real good information. Our guest tonight is a wife, a mother, business person, entrepreneur, author. There's probably a million titles that we could give her, but we're going to bring her on so she can tell you in detail exactly what she's about. Miss Jacquie J, Miss Jacquie Johnson, welcome to the Bottom of the Bottle Show. How are you?
Hey, you guys. I am awesome. Thank you guys for having me on.
Absolutely. Glad to have you, as a matter of fact. Glad to have you. So we have a first segment. This first segment is called First Call, and it's 10 quick questions. I got 5. My brother got 5. There's no right or wrong answer. It's kind of like a temperature check.
Yep.
Nothing too serious. All right? So my first question is slides or thong shoes?
If I want to be real cute, I would say thong shoes. If I'm trying to be real comfortable, I would say slides.
Okay. It's always slides for me, man. It's always slides for me. Seafood or Italian food?
Oh, those are both my favorites, but seafood hands down.
Indeed.
As long as it's not scallops, I'm good. Anything but scallops.
Allergies?
No, I just don't like scallops.
Okay, I got you. Romantic comedies or horror movies?
Romantic comedies.
Okay. I'm not a fan of scary movies either.
Hell no.
Superpowers. You could have any superpower you ever heard of. If you can make one up, make one up. But if you could choose whatever your superpower would be, what would it be?
Ooh. See, I think I would want to see people for who they really are. That's the superpower I want to see.
So that's more or less like mind reading. That's good stuff.
Yes, because they say one thing but mean something else. I want to see what's really going on.
So this is a caveat. I never hit nobody with this. We always talk about a superpower, but for everybody that has a superpower, they have a weakness. What do you think your weakness would be?
Weakness.
Scallops.
That would be my weakness. And then I would say, crazy or not, but I don't know if this has anything to do with a superpower, but my weakness would be popcorn.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We'll take it. That's my 5.
All right. So, your favorite board game growing up?
Trouble. You know,
Oh,
little pop thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
No,
Trouble.
that's different. That's
Yeah.
different. Um, what game show would you want to host?
Oh, I would love to do Family Feud.
Family Feud. I always want to do Price is Right for some reason. I just always want to do.
Price is Right.
I really,
I love Family Feud. I just want to like clown with the people, you know, and when they say something crazy, I want to have a crazy face to go with it. Yeah.
Indeed.
I love it.
all right.
With you on that.
This is gonna be a crazy one. Who's
Uh-oh.
more loyal, a woman to her salonist or a dude to the barbershop, to his barber?
Ooh. I would say due to the barber. 'Cause, you know, y'all be giving everybody double chance. You know, a woman, once you mess up our hair, we going someplace else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Fourth one. I say a day at the beach or a day at the pool.
Ooh. I like what? I would say beach. Yeah, beach. Because you don't have to smell all that chlorine and all that good stuff. You just go out there and you're out in the air and it's free. Beach. Yeah.
All
That
right.
sand is everywhere, cause you be
It's
shaking sand
everywhere.
out for days.
Heck yeah. Would you rather in competition? We'll say a seventh grader on stage, a spelling bee or a math competition.
Math. Because I cannot spell. But growing up, I had always had a dictionary because my dad said you need to keep that dictionary with you, like a little thin one.
Yeah.
Now I got spell check, so I'm yeah.
I know that's right.
Well, that was first call. We appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Absolutely,
Love
absolutely.
it.
So it's not so far gone. Like the world's been turned upside down over the last 4 or 5 years. I want to start there for you.
Ooh.
How did the pandemic affect you and your family?
Wow. Okay, real talk. It was crazy because in 2020, when the pandemic hit, I think we traveled more, which was crazy. We did wear masks and all that stuff, but we took the kids. Like, so I have 3 children. One of my biological, and then I have two bonus kids. And so our daughter, the oldest one, was going to be leaving for college, but I wanted her to get used to flying, and she had never flown before. So we were like, let's go to Dallas, y'all's first plane ride, and we just gonna go do it. And that was crazy because we went in July. The pandemic was heavy. So for us, I mean, we did more traveling than we've normally done, which was crazy. I don't know. I'm just thank the Lord that He kept us. But I think for our family, outside of my immediate family with my children and my husband, but all of my family back home in Jacksonville, it just kind of really it didn't allow us to do all the other things that we liked. You know, like my parents became more paranoid, you know, my mom, and you know, she's still spraying whatever spray she got in the house to this day everywhere. You touch a door handle, she's spraying it, right? You know, dogs can't even go there because they can't breathe because of whatever she's spraying on in the house. But I think it just made us appreciate each other more, for real, you know, just people, because people were dying like everywhere, like
Quickly.
It was crazy.
Quickly.
Yeah, quickly. Yes, for sure.
I think also because it would make sense to travel because nobody else is traveling.
Mm-hmm.
Like the roads were naked, the stores were naked. So actually, you was a little bit more secure because there was nobody else in those establishments.
That's right. Yeah.
So I can see that.
The plane rides, you know, I mean, people were like they were sectioning you off and all that, so you really weren't on top of each other anyway. So yeah.
I remember going out that first day as an essential, whatever the hell that means, and just nobody being on the highway, and that was the scariest thing in the world to me. Like, where are all the people?
Yeah.
Disappeared. Now that to me, work wise, that was scary because they called us the essential. I'm in the financial institution for a credit union. I never missed a day of work. Right? I mean, people were like, "Oh, I'm at home. Look, I got up every day, went to work, same time, everything. We did not miss a beat."
I did too. Like I said, I didn't think I was essential. I know what essential is now. I still don't believe I'm essential, but I never missed a day of work.
Never miss a day.
But I would say, and I don't know if y'all remember how y'all day was. Me and my brother talked about this before. Like how y'all were talking, like nobody was on the road.
Mm-hmm.
The last time I felt like that was September 11th.
Right.
Yes.
That was the last time I felt like when there was nobody on the road, nobody was moving.
Scary.
September 11th was the last time I felt like, damn, where everybody at?
Yeah. So
Literally tumbles.
let me ask you guys a question. We were talking about us being military brats, and did you guys seem like you understood more of what was happening as far as shutting things down and nobody being out more than people that weren't military? Like, did you understand it and get a different feeling?
I mean, I felt like, I don't know. Our parents have always been in, like, our mom retired from Fort Jackson.
Okay.
Our dad retired from the military. He retired from Department of Correction. Like, they've always been in those roles where they were needed everywhere.
Yes.
So it really didn't bother us because that's a normal life for them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when everybody else is in panic mode, they're always in
yeah,
go to work mode.
Protocol.
Yeah.
This is what has to happen. Everybody calm down, sit down somewhere.
Yeah.
It'll be all right.
Yeah.
There are contingencies in place for, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? So, and then they just like that. But I want to go back. How was your daughter's first flight? Like, how did she react to takeoff, landing, turbulence?
We recorded. It was real funny. So it was her, and so my two bonus children had never flown. My daughter, I'm putting her on a plane and doing the different things, but so they both were like they were fine until we get ready to start taking off, and then I looked over at them and they were like, And then I'm like looking, and my biological was in the middle, like holding both of their hands and, trying to like, it's okay, it's going to smooth out in a minute or whatever. But then when we landed, they were like, okay, I can do this again. And now, man, she's down in Miami in school. And when she wants to, fly home to Jacksonville or fly here, she'll get on a plane, make her own. She does it. She's good.
That's all right. Everybody needs that experience. I don't take into consideration the stuff, like there's stuff to me that's mundane and regular to myself, and other people, they've never done it. And I got to watch how I react to that. But the last flight I went on, I flew to Detroit a couple years ago. And when I tell you the pilot was just like, gas it and then straight up in the air, that one messed me up real bad. Like, I was like, bro, we are back leaning right now.
Wow.
But after, he reached his altitude, everything was good. But I tell you what, there's some takeoffs that'll throw you back.
Yes, for sure.
I got a Vietnamese guy that works with me. He's like 100% Vietnamese. So he went to he flew back to Vietnam last month. I was like, well, how long the flight? He said 36 hours. 3 flights, 36 hours. I said, luckily, I ain't gonna say luckily, but he ain't nothing but like 5'2", 5'3". So he don't need that much leg space. But 36 hours?
Yeah.
That's a long time. Because you got to do 36 there, you got to do 36 back.
36 back.
So that's crazy. His 36 was from Boston. That's not from, like, we're in Columbia. So he had to leave. He had to fly from Columbia to Boston to leave from there and then go.
Wow.
That's
the longest I've done is 18 hours. That's the longest I've been on a flight.
That's Germany, right?
Yeah, Germany.
Military flights are different because they don't book them out, and you normally can kind of, lay out. You got room on the plane. You got empty seats. So I couldn't imagine a packed flight for that long. That would be no good. Okay, so your pandemic went pretty well. And there's a lot of people that had profitable and decent pandemics. Like, I don't really feel any kind of way about it. Like, for the most part, my family was safe. Like, that was the fear that I had. Far from my mother and father. I see them on a regular basis. that was my biggest fear, is like taking something over there. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, I had a week off because I wasn't working from home. I was inside the building, um, and they had to get the equipment out. So I had that 1 week off, and then we went to work after that, and everything was business as usual after that.
Wow.
But it was profitable. I didn't have to go anywhere. I was telling my father the other day, I probably put like 3,000 miles on a truck in the last 3 years. Like, I haven't been anywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, there's nowhere to go. Now that it's opening back up, I'm open to the idea of traveling. But back then, it was just like, it was a hard no.
And I still took my ass to work.
Expensive.
Yeah. And now the flight industry is all backed up to where they don't even care no more. They was like, yeah, we lost your luggage.
Yeah.
It's $25. Like, what you mean?
Oh, speaking of that, man, our cousin went to Mexico. Went to Mexico 2-3 weeks ago. Touchdown, luggage lost in Mexico.
Oh.
Yep.
I'm flying tomorrow. I hope that doesn't happen. I thought about, I said, should I check a bag or should I not? So I already checked in, but I didn't. They asked, do you want to pre-check a bag, and go ahead and pay for it? And I said no, because when I get to the airport, I got to feel what that vibe is to determine if I want to, keep walking with it or check it. Because you just don't know nowadays. You don't know.
You're absolutely right.
Crazy.
So let's start with the business. Give us an introduction into who Jacquie J is and what's your life mission. What would your mission statement be?
Oh wow. So, and I feel like my life intertwines between Jacquie J and Jackie Johnson that works for the credit union, and Jacquie J that's trying to do her own thing. But we'll start with Jacquie J. So
Jacquie J sound like an R&B singer.
Look, I cannot sing. I pray every day, Lord, bless these vocal cords, and he ain't answering. He ain't answering that prayer.
So we use other powers. You got other strengths.
Yeah, I got other ones, but that one ain't it. So Jacquie J is really about empowering women, and that's the first and foremost. In any way that I can, whether it's teaching on financial wellness, just encouragement and empowerment, uplifting. And I found that because, of course, military brat, I'm not a stranger to talking to people and different type things, but I feel like people are kind of drawn and they like to tell me different things. And I'm always trying to encourage and let people know, listen, it doesn't have to be that way and that kind of thing. So, my life's mission really is to take women that are, sitting in this, I don't think I can, in this depressed state, and bring them up. I was at a round table Tuesday, and one of the questions they asked me with a group, she said, why are there not more women leaders? And I told her, I said, because we don't go after what we want. And we don't prepare ourselves so when the door does open for us to be ready to go after what we want. And I said, a lot of times we're still thinking that we're a behind the scenes woman. I said, but there's not a door that opens that I know that I'm not supposed to be there. If it opens for me, that means that's where I'm supposed to be. And so trying to push that into ladies and let them know, even though we may have a lot of baggage and a lot of things are going on, we can drop those bags and still be successful and still do what we need to do. And so that's what I do with Jacquie. And any opportunity I get, I'm trying to, tell someone, hey, you can, and keep moving and don't stop. So that's the Jacquie J side.
It's crazy. Like how you feel when you see it in somebody, but they don't believe it in themselves. As far as a woman, like you see
mm-hmm.
that they got the traits, or they got certain things. They might not have everything, but they got certain traits where they will be successful. They just don't believe in themselves.
And a lot of times with that, I try to, and anybody who knows me, I always say we're going to celebrate the small wins. I try to find the small wins for them within themselves and pull that out. and continue to encourage them, so that they can see, oh, okay, I did this, and I can move to the next one. I can keep moving and moving, because none of this happens. The confidence, and I've been blessed. My dad was military, and that's how he raised us. So, and we had to do that. When you move every 3 years, listen. It ain't no cousins. I ain't no cousins and none of them people. All I knew was my siblings. And we went on that military post, and you figured out how to become friends with people. So, people don't understand that life.
We've been telling that story. We've been telling that same story. I think my brother, our entire life, but since we've been doing this podcast, I think my brother said it on 15, 20 episodes, that same story you just said.
It's like, that's why my cutoff game is so strong.
Yeah.
What you say?
Yes. Yes.
It's easy.
Yes.
It's like, you know what? Here today, I'll be gone tomorrow. You don't have to leave. I'll be gone tomorrow.
Right. And I'm trying. Like, my husband's like, don't be like that. And I'm like, listen.
It's
but
in you.
He didn't come from that life. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
it's
saying?
in you.
So it could be, look, one time, yeah, that's all you get.
But that's the great thing.
It don't have to be dramatic or nothing. It just stops.
And then you can make a friend and an associate, or I always say network. I know people time me say network. Like, that's why it's so easy to network, because growing up, you're placed into a school that you know nobody, and now you got to figure out the school, or you're placed on this military base or whatever, and you got to figure out a way to connect with these people just as fast as saying, all right, it's over. I ain't gonna see you no more for the rest of my life.
Right.
And you only the new guy.
Yeah.
For that moment.
That one.
Somebody else is the new person. So sometimes being a new person, there's two things that can happen. You're the new person, so you get picked on, and you gotta, kind of outgrow it, or you're the new person and you're the most interesting person. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that is also what gave us a leg up in communication, being able to speak to strangers or speak in rooms, is because you always introducing yourself anyway.
Always. And you know how you said you either get picked on? Let me tell you a funny story really quick. So, until I went to seventh grade, we were mainly in Alaska and overseas, right? So that's all I knew. So we moved to New Orleans on the West Bank. Anybody been there? We're on the West Bank in Algiers. And my dad's like, well, our quarters aren't going to be ready for a while, so we're going to live over here in Algiers until we have to move Belchase. So he's like, I got to put y'all in school. You'll finish out the last 4 to 6 months or whatever. So I go to school, and I remember him enrolling me, and he said, you got to catch the city bus. And I'm like, what is a city bus, right? So they were like, you're going to catch this city bus to this city bus, and you're going to walk 2 blocks, and you're going to get to school. And like, no way. So first day, get on the city bus, men in the back, winos, whatever, all that, right, going on. Get to school. Now, I came from Germany. So in Germany, the latest styles are always out first, right? So I was cute. Like, you couldn't tell me I wasn't first. Well, so did 3 other girls think I was real cute and jumped my behind in the bathroom.
Oh, no.
So I go home crying, and I'm like, Daddy, there's so many black people. And he's like, from New York, right? He's like, what are you talking about? And I was like, it's just a lot of them. And he's like, oh no. He said, oh, we got to fix this. Second day, I get jumped again. Third day, I get jumped. I went home. He told my older siblings, he said, you will teach her how to defend herself, and this will never happen again. And I tell you what, from then on, I learned real quick. And I said, okay, now I see how this goes. But that's the crazy part about our upbringing, right? I mean, you just don't know. And you're either going to be the popular kid, and they're going to love you when you walk in, or they're going to pick on you.
Indeed.
And so, from there
and you got to do it over again and over again.
And over again. Mm-hmm.
I always been the fat black kid, the fat dark skinned kid. I always been the fat dark skin. I tell you, ain't too much shit you can tell me that I ain't heard before. You cannot hurt my feelings for nothing in the world. Yeah, not words. You can't. And we said this last episode. First of all, our mom is cutthroat, so there's nothing really you can say that hurt my feelings. But I've been fat, dark skinned. We moved around. Like I've been picked on all my life.
Yep.
But I did reach a stage where it wasn't like I reached a stage where I just didn't take it, and I found my own respect. And
Right.
once I found my own respect, people always say, man, a lot of people respect you like just for being who you are. I was like, I don't force it on nobody, but I walk into the room with it.
That's right. That's right.
I tell people all the time, I'm not the most educated person, especially where I work at. Where I work at, we got engineers and people with doctorates and patents, and they be like, Elliot, people respect you. And I'd be like, I don't know why.
Right.
They were like, probably because you don't take no shit.
Yeah.
They're
not coming for you. They not.
Yeah, but you know that's all. That's all. Like I said, from my parents, military. Just you have to have tough skin, man. You have to have tough skin.
Is that what fed your desire, or was that the foundation for what you're doing now?
I think so. Especially with Jacquie J. You know, like my dad had 5 girls and 1 boy. So, you know, he treated us like we were all boys, really, to be honest. I mean, there wasn't much that we didn't do that boys do or whatever, sports and different things. But, you know, just he always fueled that confidence. Like, you know, this is who you are. Walk in it, know who you are. Same thing. And so I do the same thing. You know, that's how I see us. I see women. Especially, you know, our women, like we are strong. Like there's some things that the next person next to us that don't look like us could endure. Like we both do the same thing, and we will come out of that thing, keep it moving. They will still be stuck and not understanding how and why, you know, that kind of thing. So I think it has a lot to do.
Talking about Karens, you talking about entitled people that think that stuff just supposed to go their way.
Yes, right.
So I just thought I'd clear that up. I put
yes, thank you. Be a little politically correct.
So how do you feel when you're giving somebody support and mentally they're fighting back? That's different from the other ones. The other ones just didn't know. These ones are fighting back. Like, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. They don't like, you know, that. And sometimes you just gotta let people be okay or whatever, right?
This ain't for you. This ain't for you.
Yeah, you know, I don't know what to tell you. I'm just here trying to help, and you don't want it, so okay. Let me move on to somebody else.
Right.
So let's get into finance, because I want to know about money. I want to get this financial conversation going, because I need help.
We all need help.
Well,
we all need it.
Well, what I do is I need help to explain to somebody else that don't want to take the time to learn, because that's what I do. Like, COVID taught me stocks and crypto and all that, and I take it to the other people that don't want to take the time to get their interest growing. So let's just get into financing the basics that
I was just getting ready to say, I and some people think that I talk about the same thing all the time, but if you don't have the basics, you can't do everything else, right? You can try, but you're not going to succeed. It's kind of hard to go buy and be on Robinhood and buy stocks and all those things when you don't have no money to pay your electric bill. And in everything that I say, I've been doing this. I've been in the financial industry for probably 26, 27 years. And I have been on that roller coaster. I have been, when I came out of college, my credit score was 550. I begged for my first job, because in finance, you've got to have good credit to work in a financial institution. And they gave me 1 year to get my score, right? And so I did it in 1 year, but that's what it taught me. Like, if I could do it then, I could do it now. And so, you know, and then I say this all the time, life happens. You don't know when it's going to happen. You just want to be prepared. But if you're not prepared, it's okay, because there's still a way for you to get there. So, you know, starting with finances, everybody, when they hear me talk on my podcast they hear me talk about it, the first thing I say is, if you don't have a budget, you don't know what's on that budget, then we can't even go any further, right? Because You can't pay down debt if you don't know how much money you have coming in and how much you have to spend.
You don't know how much debt you have.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you don't know what you got. Like you don't,
Right.
you just don't know. But real talk, that is not uncommon for people not to have a budget. Me and my husband, we'll be married 7 years in August coming. And when we got together for the first 4, I never talked about financing with him because he didn't want to talk about finance. All he wanted to do was spend the money. And then finally
That's
I was
me.
like, hey, listen, if we're gonna do this thing for a little bit longer, you and I got to get on the same page. And when he saw it, when I wrote it all down for him, he was like, you don't spend that much money. I said, look at this, how much we spend eating out. No, we don't. It ain't no right? And I said,
I didn't even make that much money.
yeah, exactly. Like we spending that. So the basics is budget. The basics is understanding how much you have coming in, how much you have going out, and then hopefully you have some left over. And if you don't, we'll find what's left over because there's always money. There's always money to find, even when you think, oh, I live paycheck to paycheck. I guarantee you I can find some money that you can save.
You know it's crazy, and then go back to the military. So I'm that way. I'm the my dad. My dad is Bill Cosby. New gadget, electronic. He got to get it.
Right.
And my mom is the
Mm-hmm.
this goes here. But that's how I am. Like my old lady, she's like my mom. She's like, no, we got to do this, and this. And I've gotten better over the years.
Right.
I'm just the well,
Spur of the
I
moment, go get it.
yeah. I know I get a check in 72 hours and 38 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and get
You're like, you already got it spent, right?
yeah.
So just the finance part. Again, you got to know the budget. And one of the things I'll say too, why I have a platform, please don't go pay somebody $1,000 or $500 to repair your credit. If you have the time and you're disciplined, you can repair it yourself and do it the right way, right? We're dealing with, right before I went out of town this past week, we're dealing with a girl who's got somebody, she's paying them $90 a month to help her repair her credit. And this joker has gone and said that he is disputing all of her items in her credit report. Well, that's a good and a bad thing. One, he's disputing them based on her that she's part of identity theft. So he has written up a disclosure that says, I so-and-so am a victim of identity theft. I filed a police report. Here's my police report number. Here's what they've done. Well, the police report number is fraudulent. She never filed a police report, but because he's sending that to different companies, they are taking things off of her credit, right? Until they further do research and find out that none of this was true, and then they're gonna put it all back on her credit. So she's like, well, he told me in 60 days I can go get what I want. I said, you can, but in 90 days, your credit's gonna be horrible again, and probably even worse, and for longer. So I tell people all the time, please, please, please don't pay people unless it is a reputable company. And even still then, try and do it yourself first. So
my credit over the last 2 years. I mean, it hadn't jumped up fast, but I didn't use any credit report. I just credit cards, pay the bills on time. Like I did stuff like
pay the
that.
bills on time.
And my credit it's went up, not substantial, not where I want,
right.
but from where I was, a considerable difference.
Yeah,
I would say that.
And it could be now that because you're paying your bills on time, which is the number one way for your credit score to go up, right? That is it counts 35% of your credit score. So the other thing could be the reason why it's not moving as much is maybe how much credit you do have. Do you have an installment loan? Do you have a credit card? Do you have a mortgage? Do you have all of those things? And then are your credit cards maxed out, or are they over 30% usage?
Over 30?
Over 30. If you drop that mug down to 20%, I guarantee your score is going to go like this, right? And so paying it on time and under 30%, you're going up. I can't tell you how much because nobody can, but I can tell you that it'll go up for sure.
Yeah, that was the thing I said myself that I needed to get under control. And at one point, I didn't have enough credit. Like I had
Right.
like student loans, and that was in default. Like I ain't gonna lie, I had my, and people don't believe it will happen. Like I had my student loans garnished. Like there was no
It
asking.
will happen in a
They
second.
so when I finally paid them all, my credit score was, I'm not gonna lie, my credit score was like a low 5. And then I just in my head, I just slowly started working. It's just like working out. You
Yep.
know, you're not gonna
Oh,
go
I
out and
hate
run a
it.
marathon. So now I'm at a decent spot, not great, but I'm getting, like, my Lowe's card credit the other day just went through the roof. Like it
Right.
went from this small amount to, I called them the other day just for something stupid, and they were like, "Hey, yeah, you know, you got a couple, like, $5,000 limit." I got a what? Don't tell me that shit. Let me hang the phone up.
It's good news
But
and bad news. Just the
that means
setup.
you're doing something right.
Yeah.
If they're up in that limit, that's a good thing because now it helps your usage. So yeah, that's a great thing. Great thing.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't.
So what do you tell the people that are kind of
sorry,
low? I'm sorry. Well, what do you tell the people that are kind of low income, like they trying to push the rock uphill? So where is, I get the budget thing, but you know sometimes you just feel defeated. Like the amount of money that I'm getting and the amount of money that I owe people. Is it better to take the small things and pay those off? Is it better to attack a certain type of debt versus other debt to begin to repair your credit?
So I will tell you, it really depends on the person. However, overall, if I had to answer that question, remember I said at the beginning, small wins, right? So start with something small. It's and everybody, you can read this anywhere on the internet, but it's really the snowball method. It works. It's amazing. I've done it 2 or 3 times and it works. So what you do is you start small. If you got a $500 credit card limit and you owe $300, pay that off first, right? Say if it's $30 a month you're paying. If you've got an extra 20, take that and put that $50 and pay that one off. When that one's paid off, take that 50, add it to the next one. But here's the thing. Now, people hate when I go back to the budget. You gotta know where your money's going first. And if you have any extra to put towards that, even if it's $5, it's better than you not doing it at all. And it is not impossible. I've seen people with 400 credit scores, and 18 months ago we took this guy from 400. Now he's at 720. You know, started his own commercial trucking business, doing all those things. But it takes time.
Well, I'm about to send you my info.
Yes, send it to me. You got my email address. Send it to me. I'd love to help.
I can't go in debt now. Depending on how much you charge, I can't go in no more debt.
No, we don't. We're not gonna make you go in debt.
She just said don't pay nobody for that service now.
So let's
now, I will say you don't pay anybody $500,000. If somebody says, "Listen, I need $100 or something," that's different. But don't pay nobody $1,000 to do that, because just don't do that.
I always wondered that. Like, why is this a subscription fee? Like,
because that's how they keep you going.
Right.
They know you gonna mess up. They know you gonna, like, they see your pattern. They see exactly your pattern. They know tax season, you're gonna go out and try to get another car that's a high end car that you're not gonna be able to maintain.
Yeah, that's right.
Let me and this is a very important one. So interest rates through the roof. Housing market on a rampage. Nobody wants to get a house right now. They got to know interest rate is crazy. They got to know there's more demand than supply, even though the housing market has slowed down.
Right.
And I was talking to a young guy at work because I told him before COVID he was moving out and he was getting an apartment. I said, "Dude, go ahead and get you a house. Go ahead and start the process." He didn't. Now he came to me Friday. He was like, "Elliot, I think about getting a house." I'm like, well, you should have did that before the housing market went crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, somebody's looking for a house. Budget wise,
Mm-hmm.
interest. What is your opinion right now on somebody getting a house?
If they are looking to purchase something and really stay in it long term, the rates are still okay to do that because they're going. I mean, the Fed's raising the rate again.
Yep.
In August, I think it is. I think it was 75 basis points twice in July. It's going up again in August. It's just coming, right? I would say this: if their credit is not A1, I would tell them do not and wait till they can fix their credit. By the time they fix their credit and get it going right, hopefully the market will start mellowing out and getting a little bit better. The rates may go back down depending upon where we are with election time and all that good stuff. But if it's someone who has good credit and they're looking long term, it may be okay because in a couple of years they could always go back and refinance it, right? When the rates start going back down. But if your credit is not where it needs to be, I would say no. Because first of all, if your credit's bad, you're gonna get a higher rate, higher than what's already.
You hear that zoo he got over there?
That's a big bark. He's like, wait a minute, that's a big bark. But yeah, I mean, my advice would be good credit. You can look into it. Bad credit, nope. I'd say wait.
So I was telling the guy. So budget wise, so let's say you're looking to get a house. Let's just say, screw it, I'm getting a house regardless.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get out this high end apartment or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Budget wise, with the way the interest rates are gonna rise, how do you budget for the future?
Well, the first thing you do is, you know how you go and they tell you, one, you should get pre-approved for whatever house you want to get. When you get pre-approved and it says, hey, Elliot, you can afford $350,000, right? According to our calculation. Jacquie J says you better get a $275,000
I'm going for 200.
house. Or 200. There you go. Well, you wanted 200 because you want to shop, but you got to furnish that house, right? But you go less because what's on paper is only shown what you give us, right? It's not really showing like Jackie is going to get her nails done and her hair done and all of these other bills that you have that we don't necessarily always put in our budget, and we should. So if you're going to do that, you need to sit down and write your budget out and really be truthful. Like, okay, do I have a gym membership? Do I have, if I have a shoe fetish and I know I'm buying some shoes every time Macy's have a one-day sale or a suit or whatever, you got to put those things in your budget. I'll tell you, for example, our daughter both of them play volleyball, travel ball in school. And we could not figure out, now the one in college now plays in college, but the one in high school, we couldn't figure out, like, where our money going? Like, what happened? And what happened was when travel ball started, we didn't readjust our budget for travel expenses, hotels, getting it's $40 for a weekend per person to get into the volleyball meets. So we didn't think about all of those things, and it messed our budget up. So going back to the person with the house, being truthful about your budget, and don't go in there and get a house for what they say that the max you can be approved for.
Yeah, we got a guy that's friend of the family. His daughter does travel volleyball, Tennessee, Florida, North Carolina.
That's it. Yep.
Every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing, I know you say you talk about budgeting. So the other thing I know is throwing everybody's budget off is groceries. Groceries has to, because and I told a coworker, I told somebody this the other day, and they told me no. It is almost cheaper to eat out than it is to buy groceries.
But
it's like
If you don't do leftovers and you don't know how to manage
Yep.
your budget, your grocery budget,
Yes.
it really is it. And I hate to say this because I try to tell people stop eating out as much, but
Yep.
truth be told, it can be because you can figure out, especially if you now let me say this, if you eat very unhealthy, it can be cheaper to eat out than it can be to buy food, to buy groceries and keep it in the house. Because you can go get a 2 for $4 at Wendy's, and if that fills you up, that's cheaper than you going. I went and bought a family pack of chicken wings. I'm just saying. And them mugs was $24. I told everybody, I said, listen, everybody get 2 and we're gonna save some for dinner for them.
All right, Florida Evans. All right, Florida Evans. No, but I told somebody that, and like I said, they didn't believe me. But when you think about it, even if you eat leftovers, right? Think about this. You either turn on the stove or the microwave, pots and pans, dishwasher, water, like all this stuff is starting to add up. Like the stuff we didn't add up before,
right
now because all the prices are higher, you're adding up now. Like, oh, lady told me the other day, she's like, hey man, you gotta slow down washing clothes. Washing clothes.
I know, isn't it
The
crazy?
rate of inflation is nuts over the last 10 years, though, man.
Yeah.
It's like
better watch them at nighttime.
That's what I'm doing now. That's before I logged on just now. I said, let me come right back.
Chicken wings for $8 3 years ago.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't, I just don't get it. Like, there's a whole, there's a wing shortage. I get it. People eat a lot of chicken wings or whatever. But it's still the rest of the chicken.
Yes.
Well, people ain't eating the rest of the chicken. But there's restaurants that don't sell the rest of the chicken. You got to think, Wingstop only sell what? The wings and the drums. They don't sell the thighs. And like churches sell it all. Churches say everything.
Yes.
Yeah, they say dirt too.
They selling the hormones that they don't injected in the chicken and everything. Yes.
I can't do it. I mean, that's the battle that I fight as somebody that's mainly by themselves. You know what I'm saying? It's easier for me to go out. And I ain't gonna lie, I done fell in love with Instacart. I don't have the patience. I don't like lines.
She was disgusted. She was disgusted.
PTSD acting up when I'm in public. So I love Instacart.
Let me tell you, I love Instacart, especially I did until I started really looking at my bill. Right. And when I went on Instacart and I read that there's an upcharge for the same food when you get it through Instacart. Yes, sir. That's what stopped me from loving Instacart, because I could go buy jelly and peanut butter in Publix or whatever grocery store and say if it's $2. When you get it on Instacart, it's automatically $2.50, $2.75. Then you still gotta tip your driver and all of those things. So look, my children got spoiled. This order from Instacart. No, we're not. We're gonna get in that car and drive down the street because I'm mad at Instacart. Like, right. Why are you increasing the prices when you're still asking us to tip the people and do all those things?
Right.
That's just like gratuity. They're putting automatic gratuity in when you go out to eat. Now, I don't like. We went out to eat. I went out to eat a couple weeks ago. Me and my old lady and another couple. After $100, it's automatic gratuity.
Not based on the number of people.
Not based on the number of people. So the same waitress got 18% from us and 18% from the other people.
Wow.
At this particular restaurant. So I will not be at that particular restaurant.
Well, Waffle House give you gratuity too, because so it don't even matter about.
They do. They
stars.
Do. But the price of that food is already high. You see what I'm saying? The price of that food is already high. Mm-hmm. So you're taking my choice of what that waitress or waiter is doing for my service.
Yeah.
You're taking that and saying automatically they're doing this when I got one refill on water. I got one refill on water. I order me I ordered me a mixed drink of liquor and I ordered me water. I got one refill on that water.
Wow.
It's just
Yeah.
crazy, man. I just feel like people are being pushed to the limits. You already have people that were on the fringe. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm not that far from the fringe. I can see it. So I just don't understand. Well, not don't understand. It's hard if you got a family of four and you got a menial job. You might make $15 an hour. You may or may not have a partner. You may have two kids. You know what I'm saying? That part is the difficult part to accept going forward because I don't think things are going to reduce. I think inflation is always going to be inflation. Wages are never going to catch up, and it's difficult. So what you're doing is a great help to people that are on the fringe. Like if you broke anyway, and let me speak the language of the people
That's right.
If you broke anyway,
right.
You need to use that mentality to be vigilant about your budget. Like you already don't got it. You can only spend so much till it's gone. So why wait till it's gone to have that happen?
Right. And you know what we see too, in the things that I do, and I run our foundation here at Alabama One. But what we're finding when we're out in schools talking to students and parents and all that, I mean, people are hurting. I mean, people are in a bad place. Like, you talk about groceries and you can't even afford to feed your family of four, right?
Right.
And then, we stop sending kids to school. And this was a big argument I had with a friend of mine. She's like, I'm not sending my child to school during this COVID and during this. Listen, my child you going to school. Like, you going to school, you're going to learn, because we don't have time for the learning gap is already bad enough, right?
Bad.
You're going to learn and you're going to go to school and you're going to do what you're supposed to do. But you should send your children just so they can get a fresh meal. I mean, a good, decent meal. And they're not even sending, some people aren't even sending their kids to school at all. So they're not even eating. We had to start getting other nonprofits involved, taking bags of food and driving it to people's homes so that they could eat. Like, that's how bad it is. And from a mental standpoint, these kids, if they know the only place they're getting a meal is in school, and the parents aren't sending them to school, and they're not learning because they're supposed to be on Zoom and they're not, right? They're not doing homework, they're not doing all those things. You guys think it's bad now. If you wait another 3 to 5 years, and watch the educational system and these kids that were in 3rd grade, 7th grade, 10th grade, those are major years. We are going to be so far behind as Americans. Who's going to run the country? These kids aren't going to be educated. We had a young man that we gave a summer program to through a friend of mine here. And we found out he's 16 years old and he reads barely on a 3rd grade level. And they have pushed him all the way through because he plays football.
Right.
And I've heard that before, but to say I know him, that's scary to me. And they're saying that he's always in trouble. Well, he's always in trouble because he has to defend himself, because he don't want people to know that he can't read. So he'll show out first instead of having to read that sentence.
It's crazy. When COVID happened and we didn't have school, my youngest, she was 4, I guess. Yeah. Mm-hmm. First thing I did was get ABC Mouse. We're gonna get some kind of structure. Right. Like, ABC Mouse ain't the answer, but it's something. It does. Mm-hmm. And it did well enough for a year. When they went back to school, mm-hmm. She didn't miss a beat.
Yep.
Teachers are like, well, she's on pace to do what she's supposed to do, and she was sitting at home. I'm happy. It
Right.
cost me. I think I paid the whole year. I think it was like $70, $80.
Mm-hmm.
But because you said that, it had me thinking about what about the parents that didn't even want to
or
spend
couldn't
that.
afford to.
Couldn't
No, I'm not
afford.
gonna say couldn't afford it. Some people couldn't afford it, but like remember, you said some
They
people sit
can.
at home. Some people sit at home. Some people get that $900 a week or
Yes.
Yeah.
whatever. So for your child's future,
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't important enough for you.
But we have some people here in Alabama, and remember, I'm not from here, but I've been here 4 years now. We have some that were your daughter's age. They still have not returned to school. Where are they?
Where are they?
Right.
Where are
Because the parents now are not working, right? They found that it was better to sit at home and collect that check or whatever. They're not at home. Their children are now 2 years plus behind. And where are those kids?
they? And speaking of that, just because you said that, that $900 of paper, and I understand that might be more than what somebody was making at the
Mm-hmm.
time.
More than what I was making. Shit.
But
I was working
as
bad.
as a
Still.
parent, after it was over, them not going back to work is not teaching the kids you need to go to work.
Right.
My dad, our dad, because we're biological brothers, same mom and dad. We got to say that every episode. Our dad worked two jobs, damn near 30-something years of my life,
Mm-hmm.
and right now I'm still learning about jobs he did that I didn't know he did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But one thing, anybody that know me, they know I'm gonna take my ass to work.
Right. That's right.
Push,
I
pull,
think,
drag.
yeah, regardless, I've had hangovers.
Mm-hmm.
I made it through COVID.
Right.
Like I've had. My mom taught me if you feel bad, go to work and let them send you home.
Right.
But take
Don't.
your ass to work.
That's right.
And
That's
I
right.
think with these last, that's what these kids, like you said, in some years, they haven't learned that regardless of what happens in life,
That's right.
you need to go. You need to go to work.
Because
And by them not,
they don't want to work.
they don't want to work. And if
They
they're
don't.
not going to school, going to school is the first step of saying I need to go to work every day of my
Right.
life.
Right.
And with them taking 2 years off, and like you said, where are they at now? If their parents weren't going to work or trying to find a job, they're teaching their kids that.
Same thing. Mm-hmm.
They're teaching them the same. And I tell people, they say Social Security is going to run out. So your 401k is going to become your new Social Security.
Mm-hmm.
So they're about to say everybody needs to apply for 401k regardless if you're part-time or not, because that's the only money you're going to have saved up.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my brother talked about this. We have mixed views on it, and we've talked about this. If you have an opportunity, from my point of view, put it into your 401k. The economy is not going to stay the same.
That's right.
The economy is not going to stay because the world is going to figure out a way that we need to make money. You need to be on that boat, regardless if it's a little boat
Yep.
or a big boat.
That's it.
You need to be on that boat
Right.
to make money. So invest in your 401k. Now, I got a partner I know. He's lost $40,000 in his 401k, but he has something there.
Right.
He has something there, and I
Can't
and
divide
like,
zero but zero. You're gonna get
exactly. But if you don't have nothing,
Right.
if you have nothing, you won't have nothing.
You won't have nothing.
So
Nothing from nothing leaves nothing.
You gotta have something.
I'm sorry, that's my rant there. I be going on that shit sometimes. My bad.
Yeah, you are fine.
Now we at the end of the hour. We got your social, your website and your social media scrolling down at the bottom. This is what we call our final call, and this is just a moment for you to say or do, be motivational. You can get on somebody's ass if you want to. We don't really care.
The girls that beat you up, all the girls that jumped you, get
I
on.
want to shout out to.
I need to, right?
They made you who you are.
Now, still wearing the vest. I'm sitting now. Let me stop.
Well, this is your opportunity to tell people where to find you or how to help out. Like for the people that are well-to-do and you want to support Jacquie, yeah, talk to those people.
Yes, absolutely. So, and I'm so bad. I'll be honest. I'm so bad about pushing me and what I do, right, with Jacquie J. So thank you for making me do this at the end. But for anyone who's looking for me that would like to book me to come speak, whether it's to women or whether it's on the financial side, if you would go to my website, JackieJ.net, and that's JACQUIE. That's important because I don't spell it the traditional
I
way.
thought I spelled it wrong.
No.
I spell it wrong every time. But go
JACQUIEJ.net. So it's JackieJ.net. I have a booking form on there. I'm working on continually updating my website, but I can speak to anything financial except for stocks and bonds, mutual funds, things like that. I don't carry that license, and so I don't. Although I know about it, I don't carry the license, so I don't want to put that out there. Also, you can find me at Jacquie J on Facebook as well.
I'm sorry. But it's supposed to come in that loud. But go ahead.
All right. So Jacquie J on Facebook, and Jackie Johnson on Facebook, and then Jackie Johnson on LinkedIn as well. I would just encourage you guys, please, please, please. I know the world seems crazy, and I swear it's rotating backwards. That's my thing. But I promise you, have faith, keep moving, don't stop. Because when you stop, you're stuck, right? I need you to move forward, keep moving, and the sun will shine again on all of us. And even on the budget and on our credit report. It is not the end of the world, and we can all continue to be great. So stay encouraged, and I appreciate you two brothers. I call y'all my brothers in arms with the military. It's great to always talk to those that are like-minded like we are. So I appreciate the opportunity.
Okay. Carolina, what's your last call for the week?
All right, Jacquie, when we log off, make sure you stay online for a quick.
Will do. No problem.
Appreciation for the people that want to give you knowledge. People take it personal when somebody's trying to, as they say, learn them something. It's always it's about the delivery. But if you know the person, they're good-hearted. It shouldn't matter about the delivery. Because I know somebody try to learn me something, and I didn't like their delivery. But that's just me being in my feelings or feeling some type of way that I need to get over. It's okay to learn. It's okay to be smart. Advancement. Whether it's educational, financial, physical, mental, whatever. Just always be willing to advance. And I appreciate her coming on here. We definitely got to have you back because we didn't touch on a lot of stuff in my head I wanted to touch on, but we call this a conversation. So there's there's no goals in this. On this, we just talk. So I appreciate, wherever it goes, and I appreciate you because our first conversation, I forgot I was at work. So, I was just telling her about the show. So I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Absolutely, man. Look, my final call is always going to be the same, man. Look, we are better together than we are apart. We've been doing it apart for the longest, and it ain't working.
That's right.
So, it's all right to form an alliance. The people that look like you, those are the people that you should work with. Let's stop putting up the fronts. Let's stop going by old cliches and find somebody that looks like you, that's like-minded, has the same ideas as you, and progress and be what they don't necessarily want us to be. That is my final call for the week. I appreciate y'all. Until the next time, it's the Bottom of the Bottle Show. Like, share, subscribe, and all that internet talk, and we gone.